So you can swear.
Oh, you can swear?
You can
fine.
swear.
That's chill.
But you have to say there'll be swearing. So before you
okay.
swear, you don't have to do it every time you swear. But like at the top of the episode, I'm about to swear. At the start of the episode, you just have to say there's going to be swearing in this. Hello, welcome to Sidetracked. I'm Nick Grimshaw. Usually, we are joined, of course, by Annie McManus, but she's on her holidays. Yeah, she's on her holidays. So today, we have a very special guest. We have Knats joining us. Hello.
Hello.
Who would like to deliver the swear warning?
I'll do it.
King?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Which way do I look?
Yeah, go there. Yeah.
Okay. This is Knats from the future, and we are about to swear. This is the warning. Thank you.
It's very serious.
Very serious. Don't swear.
Don't
wait,
swear.
you can swear, but
Yeah.
there's a warning.
We'll give a warning.
Yeah.
How are you all?
Yeah, good.
Very good.
Very
Very
good.
Do you want? Should we introduce ourselves to the room?
Yeah, let's do it. My name is King, and I play the drums.
Yes.
My name is Stan. I play the bass, and I'm right.
My name is Ferg. I play the trumpet.
Hi guys, welcome. Dead excited that you're here.
I'm buzzing.
Me and Annie are both, great fans. I'm a massive fan. We've been playing you on the radio.
Oh, yeah, I heard, yeah. Thank
Loved the album. Loved the new one as well. Which, if I'm honest, I've meant to play twice this week, and I've not because I've talked too much. But it's a rollover. We'll play it tomorrow, so we will play it tomorrow. I promise.
Yeah.
We'll get it on bowling ball. But yeah, thank you for coming to see us, and a really exciting day as well because we get to talk all about the Mercury Prize, for which Knats are shortlisted.
Come on,
guys! Crazy news.
Unbelievable news.
But
couldn't believe it.
Very valid. Very, very deserved. Massive congratulations. Tell us how it feels to be shortlisted for the Mercury Prize.
I mean, it's just absolutely mental. It's just like we've just talked about it for so long. It just feels surreal to get that information. It's just like, what? Crazy. Like, even when I was just like writing the album, I was just like, man, we gotta do it. Like, me and King grew up together, like in Newcastle. We've known each other for like 13 years. When we were kids, we'd always like check out, what the nominations were and whatever. And like, we're like, one day. So it's just crazy.
What was it about the Mercury Prize that got you excited, that made you want to, be up for it?
I don't know. Well, I mean, like, we were like big Arctic Monkeys fans, and like AM coming out in like 2013 and watching like that, like live performance. They play like Do I Want to Know? And I was just like, one day, we'll do that. So,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
just crazy.
Oh, well, massive congrats, guys. When you found out, who tells you?
Bob, our manager here.
Yes.
He rang us, and he was in Newcastle, and he was like at this like bar, which is in Gateshead, and he was like on the floor, rolling about on the grass, crying, being like, "We fucking did it! Sorry. Swear warning. We are about to swear. Sorry.
Just did. We can chop that in.
Yeah, we'll edit that in at the beginning. Yeah. So he was running about the bar. Where were you all together when you found out?
Yeah. We were on
me and King
Ranger
were,
Street.
I was on the train.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're on
you
the train.
received the information on a train.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to pick up this FaceTime because I'm like on the train. And then I'm like 30 seconds later, I'm like, I might as well. And then I don't hear anything. I just see everyone just going crazy. I'm like,
no words.
I wonder what's going on here.
What's going on there?
Wow.
Something to do that. Well, massive congrats, guys. It's so exciting. We are, of course, going to talk all about the Mercury Prize on the episode today. We'll go through the other nominees. Boo! Joking. Just kidding.
It's all love. It's all love.
It's all love. Yeah. But before we do, I'd love to talk to you guys about how it all began, because, like I said, I'm a big fan of your music. I love the album, but I don't know the story. Like, tell us how it all began for you guys. How did you first get together? How did Knats become?
Well, me and King, obviously, having grown up in the West End of Newcastle. King grew up in Benwell, and I grew up in like Arthur's Hill. We're very close together. It's a small place, and we went to school together. When we were like 10 years old, we met at school, and we both just like loved like the Arctic Monkeys. It was like a big thing, and I just like adored Alex Turner. So I was just like, I was trying to sing at the time, but I was like, I'll teach myself guitar. I taught myself guitar, and we were in this like little club for music, weren't we?
Yeah,
and this guy who was teaching Franco was listening one day. Yeah. We were like, we want to play Are You Mine? And he was like, nah, that's too hard. Yeah, you can't do that. It's like grade 5. We were like, well, fuck you, Franco. We're gonna fucking do our own thing. So we swear one, obviously, fucked off and made our own band. And then from that, like, just became best friends. And that's kind of always been the motto. It's just like, don't need anybody else. We'll just do it ourselves, basically.
Yeah,
So
totally, yeah. It was tricky, man. Like initially, because Newcastle's not exactly known for music, and there aren't that many musicians, so it took us like a long time to find people. And then Stan and I started like doing like a lot of like production stuff during like lockdown. We made like these really shit like house beats and stuff that are still on SoundCloud, but don't search it up. It's really
Please don't search
really,
it up.
really
Don't let Mercury know.
Yeah. Please don't. Yeah, we'll probably get it revoked if they listen to it. So we made those, and then we were like, let's rent out a studio. So Stan turned 18, and then we were like we rented out this place. It was like 24-hour access in Newcastle, just no windows, just like locked ourselves in there.
it was minging.
Yeah, and then we were just like playing music all the time, just trying to figure out a way where we can like play just as a duo. So like Stan would have like a keyboard set up, trying to play bass and keyboard at the same time. Obviously didn't work. And then I tried to play keyboard and drums at the same time, didn't work. And then we stalked this kid online from a YouTube video and we found Ferg. And that's how the band started to form, where we started to get got trumpet in, and then we got keys in, and then we moved down to London and then started to expand and take it a bit more seriously.
Yeah, it's a super long story, to be honest. It's just kind of changing all the time, but it's been like 13 years in the making, I guess.
Wow.
I mean, we're only 23. Ferg's only 20 now. So yeah, still evolving, I guess. But it's been a long journey.
Yeah, well, great journey. And then you just DM'd.
Yeah.
You received the DM.
Terrifying, you know.
Who are these two?
These older guys, you know.
Who are these two? And
with their shades and their bald heads.
What do you remember your first day working together in real life, when you first got to get in the studio and make something together?
It was kind of it was great, but terrible at the same time. It was like, as in like because I was so nervous, man. I didn't really say a word. I was just like, how's it going? Like, my legs were shaking and stuff.
Bless him, man.
But,
Such a cutie.
We just played through some tunes. And then I was like, oh yeah, jolly good, yeah. See you later.
But I guess you've got to have those days where it's not good, you know, to get through the process of it all.
The thing is, I loved it, but I just didn't really let on, because I was just like nervous. You know, I was like, oh, what if they don't like me? Like, I think it was the same.
It was a mutual, because it's like he was just like a 15-year-old, like he was just a kid. You know, he grew up in like Hexham, you know. We were like 18 or something, so we were like we'd already been gone out of town, and then he rocks up and his parents drop him off. Like he was just like didn't speak to us, and then we played, and obviously he was like amazing, and we just so we texted him, we're like, oh, like dude, like, you know, after he left, he's like, come play with us, and he just didn't reply, and we was like, all right, well, you know, he thinks we're shit then, yeah. But he was just, bless him, he was just super shy and just nervous, and eventually came back to us.
I had to finish my GCSEs, you know.
Yeah, true.
And then
do my GCSEs, and then I'll be back. And then, did you all grow up in musical households? Like you no.
It's a bit different for everyone.
Right.
A little bit different. Like my dad was like a drum and bass DJ in like the 90s. It's like the rave scene in Newcastle was like Raj. Like my mum and dad met at like a warehouse rave, and so I just always had like music on in the house, really, but not really like from like a musical family. Like they didn't play or anything.
Yeah.
And then, did you like what your dad was playing? Because I don't know, I think me and all my siblings actually sort of naturally rebel to the music your mum and dad like. Did you like the drum?
I mean, it was different because like, my mum and dad were both into very different music, and I lived with my mum basically. So it would always be like, in the house, it'd be like Sabbath and like Zeppelin and stuff like that. So because I was always at my mum's, I kind of, when I went to my dad's, it was like I'd hear jazz and stuff. I'm like, oh, I never hear any of this. So it was a bit more of like a, I don't know, exciting thing. And when I was like a teenager, I'd always be like, oh, I hate what my mum listens to. You know, actually like live with your mum and you're a little dickhead when you're younger. But as I've got older, I like appreciate it all.
Yeah,
you know, like
that's very much the same with me. Yeah. And what about you, King? Did you grow up in a house that was big music fans?
Yeah, I mean, fairly. I mean, it's weird because my mum, she was like choir leader at church basically for like the majority of my like childhood. So started playing in church from like 9 till 18 basically, and she would sing in church and you'd have to learn new songs, and I shit you not, she literally only listens to gospel music like every single day without fail, and like the odd like Kenny G or like David Sanborn or some like smooth jazz or like Brian Culbertson. That's it. So like, I mean, I'm not really into smooth jazz at all. Gospel music is cool as well, I love it. I mean, it's like foundational, but like I would say like I kind of like veered off onto my own path, and then my brother got me into like production, and then through that found like hip hop, 90s hip hop, and then found like jazz music through that. And my sister was really into like Arctic Monkeys. That's when we met, and then like Muse and stuff like that. So like got like rock music from her. My brother got like hip hop, and then my mum got like gospel, I guess.
Good mix.
Yeah.
Good mix. And what about you, Fer? What were you growing up listening to? What was on in your house?
I was kind of always a bit of a jazz head because of like my dad basically. He got into jazz through like the jazz rock kind of lens. So he was as a teenager, he was into like Zeppelin and stuff, and then he discovered like King Crimson, then like late Miles Davis, and then he worked his way back to like Charlie Parker, Keith Jarrett, this kind of thing. So that was kind of what was going around. And then my brother's a jazz drummer as well, my older brother. So he was always showing me crazy stuff, like Tigran Hamasyan, who's like kind of one of my heroes. So yeah, it was kind of through that.
And then you must have seen Ferg playing jazz, was it, that you saw?
Yeah.
And then was that definitely going to be the sound that you wanted to make, or was it just sort of an evolution once you guys all got together?
Well, I think like Ferg initially brought like the jazz kind of element, whereas we were just, obviously we've always just been like self-taught. So then this kid comes in who actually like could really play, and that brought like a kind of jazz lens to it. Like we've been trying to play like standards, you know, like stuff from like Seven Steps to Heaven and like Mingus and, you know, all that stuff, but we were kind of just butchering it all, to be honest, because, you know, we were just self-taught, like Raji's basically from Newcastle, like Chav's trying to, you know. So then he brought that in, but the sound is just constantly being, you know, changing over time. The first record is kind of like a bit of like a mixtape sort of thing, where it's like everything we'd been playing and working on, but there wasn't like a kind of constant stream of like thought. Whereas the second one, when I was like sat down to write that, I was like, I want to do like a proper record, you know, like a concept album, and like do it properly, you know what I mean?
Should we talk about the other shortlisted artists?
I've done my research.
You've done your research.
Yep.
Okay, good. Well, okay, we should let everybody know about the Mercury Prize. Established in 1992, and it's any album by a British or Irish artist, or by a band where over 50% of the members are British or Irish, may be submitted for consideration by the label. It's judged purely on musical merit, not commercial success, not popularity, and I think that's always been the brilliant thing about the Mercury Prize, because there might be artists you know or albums you love, but also, you know, a whole host of artists and bands get born through this. You know, you discover new stuff. I remember I worked years ago, 21 years ago, on I worked when I was like trying to get into, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Knew I wanted to do radio, but I was like, will that happen? I don't know. But I wanted to work in music, so I went and worked at like a plugging company.
Right, okay.
And I'd go there and assist and like sticker the CDs, or like, you know, file their CDs or whatever. And I remember around that time, it was the Mercury Prize 2005. And that's how I discovered Anthony and the Johnsons, and I love Anthony and the Johnsons, and Anoni like being one of my favorite artists ever since. So that's the great thing about it, because I was totally unaware previously. So you can fall in love with a new artist, which I love, definitely. And he can also be some like huge mega pop star as well alongside them. So should we go through the list?
Let's do it.
And any thoughts, just throw them in. Is that what
Positive
we do?
thoughts only.
Positive thoughts only.
No negatives.
Really?
We want some juicy headlines here, guys. Yeah, slag them off. No.
Seriously, actually.
If you want.
Let's be wise about what we say.
I mean, you're going for a breakfast with them all soon, aren't you?
Is that right? Is it?
Yeah. You're going to be seeing these face to face.
Right, wow. Yeah.
The list is in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Okay?
Cool.
No favourites.
Yeah.
We're starting with D for Dave.
D for Dave.
Dave.
Strong start.
Strong start.
He's already won a Mercury, right?
Yeah.
So he's kind of chilling, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, he did win. Yeah, he's all right.
He's already won, so...
2019, yeah.
Next one.
He's
already won.
He's already won.
He's already got it. It's chill.
He's up for The Boy Who Played the Harp, which came out in October, his third studio album. We spoke a lot about it on the podcast, actually, because Annie was totally bowled over by this album and loved it. So a more muted sound, maybe, than these previous albums. A lot of sort of examining of of growing older. Did you hear the one he did with Kano? And it was sort of
it's like a
passing of
conversation,
like a
dialogue thing.
conversation.
It was interesting on the conversation thing to hear how much spoken word there was on these albums.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I was like listening through. It was like spoken word on everything. I was like,
Yeah.
that's our thing.
Yeah.
That's our thing.
Our thing, yeah, they
Amazing.
copied
It was like, yeah,
Spoken
Paul
word
did it.
in.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Mad.
But yeah, like you say, won the Mercury Prize back in 2019 for psychodrama. Next up, we have Dove Ellis. And
This one was
Blizzard.
awesome.
Yeah,
I thought
really
this was a
good.
really, really good album. And I saw him like a few years ago, and he sounded great then. But I listened to the album and it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I was really, really impressed by it.
There
like-
was one tune that we loved on the radio, and excuse my jet lag, and we're going to have to get it up here. I loved that. I loved it, the tune.
His voice is amazing. It felt like very Tom York-y sort of
Yes.
Cameron Winter-y
Winter.
sort of
Yes.
vibe.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
But with the folk element, and I thought it was epic. Yeah.
Yeah. The one I loved was Heaven Has No Wings. That one.
I don't know the specific tunes.
It's good.
unfortunately, but
Yeah, it's good.
it was cool.
Next up, we have Florence and the Machine, shortlisted for Everybody Scream, which came out on Halloween. She
hell.
actually
You're a
came
poet.
to. Huh?
Just
I'm a
was
poet,
big
yeah, get me on
rhyme
that.
scheme going on
Spoken
there.
word
Yeah.
Came on
there.
Halloween.
Did you like that pacing?
Yeah, the rhyme
Yeah.
scheme was great on that one.
I'm on the new Nats
Did they
track.
do that on purpose? And
I did. I'm auditioning. Yeah, Florence came to see us actually on the podcast when the album came out. We did a special with her talking all about that record. It went to #1 on the album chart, so a big commercial success for Florence.
Cool.
A pop album on the shortlist from JADE called That Showbiz Baby.
Jade to Geordie.
Jade to Geordie.
Little mix. Let's go.
Yeah,
awesome.
come on.
It's nice to see another Geordie on there.
Yeah. Did you guys ever listen to that at all?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, she's a Geordie. I'm sure.
she's a
I'm sure it's
Geordie,
epic.
isn't she?
I listened
Yeah,
to the first few tracks. Sounds good.
But yeah, so that was her debut album, of course, had massive success with Little Mix, but then had to go solo, and that featured that song, Angel of My Dreams, which
I heard
was
that one, yeah.
described, we loved it actually on the show, but described by Laura Snapes as sounding like it dodged focus grouped smoothness to present a sublimely whacked out, thoroughly British pop vision that felt like spinning through someone else's For You page and realizing they exist in a markedly different universe from your own.
Wow. That's, I mean,
It was a mad tune when I heard it.
It is. Well, I was listening to it on the train, and I said to King, I was like, she's making techno? And
Yeah.
it sounded like Raj.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it at all. It was cool.
Yeah, it sort of doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
but it brilliantly does. Yeah. Next up, Knats.
Oh, this one's great. This one's really good.
I was meaning to ask, actually, there was the first time you played the us, you had a friend in there, and she was not in, she was not into it at all.
Yeah, she didn't like it. You were like, oh, would you listen to this again? She was like,
You were like,
Not by
and
myself.
Nats, and you were like, do you like that? And she was like, I wouldn't listen to a whole album.
No
I was like,
way.
Oh, cool.
I
loved it.
remember.
I loved it. It was so funny.
Oh, Rihanna Dillon. Oh, Rihanna Dillon.
It was so funny. It was so, you were so enthusiastic, and she said, "Yeah, it was cool."
Oh, well,
I
Rihanna
didn't listen to it by
Dillon.
myself.
No, she don't know.
It was dead funny. It was dead funny, man. Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about
Thank God she's not in the Mercury panel. We
Thank
wouldn't
God,
have-
yeah. Oh my God, unbelievable.
this
So yeah,
is cool.
Great Day in Newcastle, the second album from Knats, of course, made by 3 very cool creative geniuses that are here.
Don't know about
Mojo described it as a big compositional leap, boldly examining poverty, prison, and crime via action-packed sonic fizz bombs.
Cool. Yeah, nice.
Fizz bomb.
There's
I'd
a
watch that
live
film.
fizz bomb there. Next up, Koji Radical, shortlisted for his second studio album called Don't Look Down, which came out in September. And I really enjoyed this.
I thought this was really good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to listen to this one.
I think
It
he's
was awesome.
great.
I hadn't heard any of his music. I'd heard of his name before, but I thought this album was great.
Yeah. I only heard that tune he did with Ezra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. There's a tune that he did called I Loved Expensive with Planet Giza. That was good.
Planet Giza?
Yeah, Planet Giza.
I've
But
not heard of them before.
G-I-Z-A, not like...
Like Giza as in
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah,
right,
like
yeah,
that.
right, sort
And then
of
he did
like
a track with Coltrane as well on that album.
Whoa,
yeah.
they
Yeah.
brought him back from the dead.
Yeah, with John Coltrane. Nia Archives
Yeah.
is
Oh,
shortlisted for Emotional Junglist, which just came out last week.
This
17th
was
of July.
great. This was great as well. Like, you can't really miss with those tunes. You know what I mean? They all just sound cool. Like you have to be like, you know, off your nut or something like that. But like, it was cool. I was listening to it. I was like, this is fun.
And Near Archives is going to be here next week.
Cool.
Nice. Annie's picked a terrible 2 weeks to be off. You know what I mean? Knats and Near Archives. But she'll be here next week. Olivia Dean has been shortlisted.
No surprise there, to be
Not
honest.
a Geordie.
Yeah. Not a Geordie,
but fantastic.
Great album.
it's an awesome album.
Yeah, have you enjoyed that? Have you listened to it?
Yeah,
I've
I've
been
been banging
really
the
good, man. I
tunes,
mean, it's got so many just bangers on it. It's like a banger album. You know?
Everybody said,
Well, she came to see us when that came out, and she was saying, I really like this about her. She said that because it was a second album, and the label were like, figuring out what to do, and she went to LA to go and write, and when she was there, she was like, it's just not me. It's not honest. I want to be at home.
Right.
I want to be where I'm from, and I want to be in my own space.
Really?
And she was like, it's not working. Let's wrap it up, and I want to go home. And then she went home and made this album that has just flown.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's that honesty that's made it connect people, because it's she knew what to do with it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like there's just so many bangers on there. It's just like the catchiest album.
One I need.
Next up, a man called Paul McCartney.
If I meet Paul, I'm gonna sing Wings. As I spend so much time singing Wings tunes, man. Like, if I meet Paul, I'm gonna be like, Paul,
You are gonna
so much.
Paul's gonna be there, sure.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he's too old.
No,
Paul will be there.
Definitely not, man. He was on Chicken Shop Day the other day.
Yeah, Paul's on Chicken Shop Day.
Paul is chilling, man.
Paul's all right,
I hope he'll be there.
He's I can't wait. I'm gonna be crying my eyes out.
I think Paul will be there for sure. He is shortlisted for his 20th solo album.
Mental. That's
which
mental.
is unbelievable.
He's not had a nomination before, am I right in saying
I don't think so, no. I don't think
that's
first
pretty
nomination.
cool. And he gets to come to Newcastle as well. Not that he's not been before, but
Yeah.
Probably been loads. Yeah.
But yeah, it's his first time, you're right, first time shortlisted for the Mercury Prize at the age of 84.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's mega.
84
isn't it?
years young, I'm saying Paul.
Yeah, The
Okay.
Boys of
Support
Dungeon
you,
Lane,
Paul.
the album from Paul McCartney,
Got you,
which
Paul.
looks back at his youth and has been described by a lot of critics as being dreamy and soft, which I like that. So dreamy
Interesting.
is a nice
I
place
didn't
to
get dreamy and soft before.
No.
I thought it was a bit heavier than his usual
yeah,
stuff. so.
guitar heavy.
It was very different to Wings and other
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, God. He's obsessed.
It was cool though. No, I'm obsessed with Wings.
Yeah, you
So
gotta
I
mention
love- I
Wings.
love
Yeah,
Wings.
yeah.
You gotta
And his
mention
solo,
Wings.
and his anyway, don't want
Yeah.
to go too much into Paul. But
Well, you see him later. Yeah.
I'll chat to him.
Next up, RAYE has been shortlisted for This Music May Contain Hope, her second album, which has incorporated orchestral pop, R&B, and the second time being nominated for a Mercury Prize. She was nominated back in 2023 for my 21st Century Blues. And she'd worked with like Hans Zimmer.
That's
on this.
insane.
That's
insane.
mad.
I mean, you
cool.
can hear it, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
the first, that like introductory track is just like mental. I mean, the whole like orchestral composition is just like insane.
The arrangement,
insane.
the arrangement
Yeah,
on everything on
Yeah.
the record is
Insane.
awesome. And
Yeah.
she seems like a very lovely person.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and the concept is so super
It's
cool.
cool, yeah.
as well.
Mhm.
Super,
And
super
I also like seeing. I mean, I don't like her struggle, but like all what she went through
Cruel.
with like,
Yeah.
like the labels, like not letting her release what she wanted.
Yeah.
It was like a really tough time at
The
the labels.
independent thing is
So good.
It's crazy though.
So good.
Yeah.
How she's done. I can't remember who was telling us the other day, and I didn't know, and I was just like, that is mad.
Yeah.
Fully independent to do that album. It's
Yeah.
like,
And then won something like 45 Brit Awards for it.
Yeah,
I love that. Suede are shortlisted for their 10th studio album. They have previously won in 1993 with their self-titled debut album. This new one called Antidepressant, which is a raw, sort of dark album, very sort of eerie atmosphere to it. We played a few tracks from that on the radio recently when it came out, and people really, really loved that. And then finally, this War Child album, Help 2.
it's cool.
Which is a compilation album which was produced by James Ford, who joined us on the podcast recently.
Really?
Yeah, we love him.
We like
and
James
we've
Ford.
do you like James
Yeah.
Ford?
We love James
Yeah.
Ford.
Do you
We
love
love
James
you.
Ford?
Yes, we love you.
We love
Hey,
James.
James.
Ford.
Come and work with us, please.
Yeah, come on, James.
No, I thought this album was awesome as well. I mean, it's got the Arctic Monkeys on it, which is obviously a great start. And Black Country New Road, Olivia Rodrigo.
And he did it
Came
while he was
album.
like in the hospital.
Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah, he told us that story of like, sort of engineering it and producing it from his
insane.
hospital bed and having
He's amazing.
like live streams of everyone in the studios in his hospital bed, and he was like making the tunes there. But like you say, loads of great people on it. Olivia Rodrigo, Arctic Monkeys, Fontaines, Pulp, Foals. I mean, it's the second album of its kind. The first one came out in 95. So yeah, interesting that like a compilation has been shortlisted.
I thought that
as well.
was kind of crazy to be
Yeah.
fair. It's like who comes on stage, like all the bands get on stage together.
But have you got any standout favourites? Is there any that
Of the
you guys
records?
have listened to?
I mean,
Anyone that you've crossed paths with?
War Child's album is great, but
Yeah.
it feels, kind of crazy. There's like 10 different bands on there, so I feel like that's not...
Dove Ellis, I think, is a standout for me.
I would agree. To be fair.
It's nice to see someone who's also like not a massive artist. This is his first album as well. It's just absolutely stunning. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I was
Yeah.
moved.
And Ferg, is there any that you've enjoyed?
Mate, honestly, I'm a massive trumpet nerd, so I'm into the RAYE album, to be honest.
Yes.
Some of my UK trumpet heroes are on there. Yeah. And she does this one tune. It's just the credits. It's class. She's just like lists everyone who works on the album. It's great.
Come on,
Yeah.
who are some of your trumpet heroes? This could be a new feature.
So
There we go.
to be honest, I could be very incorrect about who's even on the album, but I'm pretty sure Tom Walsh is on there, who's like absolute beast. And on the live shows, it's this guy James Copus, who's like, he's like unbelievable. He's like
Nice.
king of music, you know.
Trumpet heroes.
King of-
Every time
I learnt the trumpet at school, you know.
yeah, I've heard about this.
Yeah.
Many
did.
moons ago.
Not great. I really wanted to, but I don't know what happened. My distractions is like being an idiot, like not taking it seriously.
It's a waste of time. Don't worry about it.
No.
It's not the most forgiving instrument.
Now, obviously, this is a prize about albums, but I wanted to. I saw this thing and I sent it to our producer Grania today, which I couldn't believe. So DJ Mag put this stat out that said in the past year, 41% of adults have not listened to an album from start to finish.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So that,
Yeah.
It's
I
because
didn't
of
know
Spotify, isn't
Because
it?
of
It's
streaming
like the
and
like
stuff.
songs thing.
Yeah.
You just listen to the song that you
And
like.
people
and you don't
listen to
everything.
playlists.
That's crazy.
But I wanted
Yeah.
to get your guys' thoughts. Obviously, you make albums, but how do you listen to stuff? Do you like to listen to an album from beginning to end? Are you someone that likes to listen to it?
I think
me
it's
too.
it's like especially from because we went to we studied jazz, I guess, and there's always like a big thing. It's like you listen to like the whole, because I was like, it's so easy to fall into the playlist trap thing because of our attention spans.
Yeah.
Because we spend all day watching reels and stuff. You know, so your attention span's super short, but I think you have to listen to albums start to finish. Like I'd be gutted if somebody just listened to the first track of the Knats album. You know, it'd be like you don't get the whole story.
Yeah,
It's
the
like,
journey.
I mean, I just think of it like it's the same with any sort of art. Like if you take a book, you wouldn't take like any book and just scroll to like the 30th page and then just read one line and be like, oh, that's a really good line, and then just like leave it after that, close the book. And it doesn't make sense. You've got to read the whole thing for it to make sense. So I think apply the same thing that you would to anything else. You know, if you like that one song in the middle, it will make way more sense if you start from the top and then finish at the end. You know?
Well, we should talk about your Mercury Shortlisted album. It's good. Your second album, A Great Day in Newcastle. We have heard the phrase Geordie Jazz a lot.
Chemo.
But yeah, talk to us about the phrase Geordie Jazz. Is it something that you've coined? Is it something you like?
I don't hate it. Don't hate it.
No.
But it's like
Rolls
kind
off
of-
the tongue.
Yeah, exactly. It's more of like a marketing kind of thing. But I don't think we came up with it. I think it's just being plopped upon us.
Yes.
It just sounds good, doesn't it?
It does sound
Jazz.
good.
It's like
Geordie
Geordie
Jazz.
jeans.
Geordie
Geordie
Jazz.
jazz. You know.
Exactly. Well, I obviously do the radio and I hand over to Lauren every day. And Lauren loves saying Geordie Jazz.
I love Lauren. She's the best.
Well, she's been a big supporter of you guys.
She's been amazing. Yeah. Can't wait to meet her. But like, my mum is like the biggest fan of Lauren Laverne. Like when I was a kid, it was always like Lauren's the best. Lauren's the best. So when like she plays on the radio, I was like, Mom, like Lauren's on the
Lauren's
plays on the radio.
Lauren's playing us. Well, I saw her when she came to Jules Holland, and she came in the next day because I think did they do it on a Sunday? Did they record it on a Sunday maybe? I can't remember.
No, I think it was like it was a random day. It was a weekday or something.
Yeah. Well, she came in the next day and she was really excited that she'd seen you guys.
I can't believe I didn't meet. Hopefully we'll meet soon.
Yeah. Well, Mercury Prize. Who else was on with you? Because it was quite a mad lineup on that Jules night.
It was crazy. Shania Twain, which was just great. Like Angine de Patrine, Sam Smith. Sam Smith
lineup.
was just like the nicest person we've like ever met. Like it was actually crazy.
We have some great accolades, which I don't know if you'll like me reading to you, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I don't mind
You'd be like, I don't mind a bit of praise.
Yeah, go for it.
But the album really has like sort of confirmed you guys as, you know, one of the most exciting bands in the country. It really, really has. There's been so much great stuff written about A Great Day in Newcastle. The Pitchfork review, a glowing review off of Pitchfork,
that was awesome,
saying Knats excel not only as individual players, but as a collective whose compositions reach beyond the purview of UK jazz.
Awesome. Purview, that's a great word.
Don't even know what it means.
Clash magazine said it was the best thing to come out of the Northeast since Andy Carroll.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a football reference.
I remember reading that one. That was class.
That's a football reference for our non-sporty listeners. And of course, today you've been shortlisted for the Mercury Prize.
Yeah.
We should talk about what it means to have those accolades. You know, what does it mean to you guys when you get a glowing review or someone like Lauren, you know, championing you on the radio, or a nod like the Mercury Prize? How have you been managing, you know, the increasing success of the band between you all?
I don't know. I feel like we've been asked this a few times, but it's been quite like manageable. I feel like we've been quite like level-headed about it. I don't know. I did kind of think like when we got the Mercury, I'd just feel a bit overwhelmed. But I was a bit like, oh, like cool, yeah, awesome,
good.
Cool. Yeah, you know, great.
Yeah.
I feel like together we're quite good at like leveling each other out. But I think that's why it works really well. It's a trio, because it's like, you know, when one person gets a bit too, you know, big for their boots, you know, don't know who that would be. The other one kind of brings them down a bit, you know, or vice versa. And it's like quite, because we're, especially me and King, like we're like very different people, and I think that's why it's worked really well. So we get quite like balance each other out quite well.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like also all of this success is not just like for us as well. It's like kind of more for the area. Also, you know, like Northeast hasn't had like this much hype coming towards it, you know, especially in this kind of like genre of music. It's always been kind of like rock music or anything else. For something a bit more like jazz leaning, or which is just more a bit more like alternative, is like so nice to have, and it's probably inspiring loads of people.
Hopefully,
yeah, definitely.
That's a goal, I guess, and like inspiring like the next generation of like young musicians in Newcastle. Like, think something that we didn't really have, to be honest. Like as King was saying, like we didn't really have anyone to like look up to like around us, you know, especially in the jazz or like niche thing. So like hopefully this will be like, you know, young kids seeing it or whatever, and they're like, oh, like it's possible, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Win for us is the win for the whole Northeast.
Yeah. And was there like a scene for you guys when you started playing? Was there like a jazz scene in the Northeast?
No, not really. There was like, you know, there's a few older guys, but like I feel like you more so were involved, but I feel like me and King were kind of quite separated from it. It didn't feel like massively like included. I mean, it's very small anyway. But yeah, it was kind of just like us, really.
You kind of have to like know people in order to be like in it. Because I mean, your dad kind of is very much like very knowledgeable in like the Northeast jazz scene. So
I think the difference between the London jazz scene and the Newcastle one is that like in London there's just like thousands of kids from like 15 to like young adult age or whatever who are just like playing all around London all the time with each other, whereas like you just don't have that in Newcastle. Like there is a bit of a scene of like people who have like maybe studied jazz elsewhere and kind of come back or this kind of thing. But it's just like you can't. It's like this kind of music you can't do it on your own, basically. Like you know what I mean? It's which is why we were so lucky to find each other.
It's a blessing, really.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about how your album took shape. You know, how did it begin? Was there an intention at the beginning? Did that evolve as you began making the tracks? Like, talk to us about how it was all constructed.
Well, I think it kind of began where like after we'd like finished the first record, as I was saying, it was kind of like more of a mixtape sort of thing. I was just saying to like Dan, our manager, it's just like, Dan, like, you know, why have we got no shows? I want to play more shows. And he was just like, shut the fuck up. It's just like, go and sit in a room, like go and sit at a piano and like, you know, just write loads of songs. So I just kind of took myself off and just like sat at a piano and then just like started writing, and over like time just kind of got really obsessed with like the idea of like composition and getting like a good writer, you know, and studying different like methods, studying like, you know, the kind of more like modern classical thing. Like Messiaen and Stravinsky and, you know, those guys and the harmonic approaches of them. And then kind of on the back of that started to just like really produce like a lot of music. And because, you know, I was like we've lived in London, but I'm a Geordie. It's like the thing that's always on my mind is just like, you know, nostalgia and like homesickness and stuff. So all of the tunes ended up coming out with these kind of like classical sort of like harmony, like the modern thing, like Messiaen and stuff. But they were all about like, you know, Newcastle specific topics. And because of that, I was like, oh, you know, that's kind of like starts to take shape. We're like talking about these issues. And then over time, it just started to kind of evolve. You know, we would play some of the early ones on like live shows, you know, like Never Gonna Be a Boxer. And, you know, War Jackie eventually kind of started to slip in. And then from playing them on the live shows, we kind of arranged them together. And then slowly over time, it just kind of developed into this thing. And then I had this like, I can't remember when I had the idea, but I was like, I had an idea. I was just like, you know, imagine we had like a sort of Disney-esque like monologue at the start of the record. And we have like a cinematic thing. And we have just this guy doing like a thick Geordie accent, like monologue. And he would like detail all the themes from each of the songs, you know, because like all the tunes were instrumental, like War Jackie, everything like that was all instrumental. So we got this guy Cooper, and I told him a few months before, and he came down to the studio and he recorded this long monologue. And then we were kind of like, you know, nah, this is sick. Like we should try it on some of the other tunes, like try it on War Jackie. And then he did this thing, and we were like, oh, you know, this is cool. And just in the week of actually making the record, he ended up being on half of the tracks. By the end of the week, we were like, whoa, this is something super different. It was like a total surprise. And now Cooper's part of the live show and everything. So
the missing link was when we met Geordie, and then he ended up producing the album, which me and Stan are big fans of. He's like, obviously loved Black Midi and what they did, and then kind of added like a whole new like perspective to it, because we'd done the first album with without a producer really, and it was kind of just like this really like jazz approach of like, we're only going to do live takes, no overdubs, like it has to be like just like capturing the gig energy, but like on vinyl basically. And it was like sounded a bit like stale, and we wanted to do a bit more and make like an actual record. So then having that input, we just kind of took on this like more is more approach, put loads of stuff on, tried to like make it sound as like heavy as possible.
Definitely, yeah. It was like having Geordie there was a real blessing, to be honest. I think we like really learned from like the process of having him there, where like when we went in to do, you know, Bowling Ball, which is like a recent single, we went in by ourselves and we did that one, and we just knew what it needed. I think just like learning from him, and he's obviously made all these great records of his own. It was a real pleasure, and I think the album wouldn't sound the same at all without Geordie, you know. So
definitely
big thanks to him.
Yeah. Well, massive congrats, guys.
Thank you.
So the plan is today you're going to go meet all your fellow shortlisted artists.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's gonna be
probably have lunch with Paul.
Yeah. Maybe if I'm free.
No pressure.
I'll see what time. I've got.
He'll be gagging for it, Paul. And then of course the Mercury Prize is October time, where you'll perform. It's going to be in Newcastle. How does that feel? It's you know, in your neck of the woods, and you're going to be
insane, man.
The arena.
In the arena.
Yeah, I feel like it feels a lot more exciting that it's been up north.
Yeah. I mean, it's just better up north, isn't it? You know. So
I mean, it is. Yeah.
It's just I went to see, the last time I was at the arena, I think I went to see JLS, and I think I was about 10 years old, and I bought this black JLS jumper, and it was like JLS in like diamond, like rainbow coloured diamonds. So
probably wear that.
I probably will. Yeah.
Please accept the Mercury Prize in a JLS hoodie.
That would be class. Please. A skin tight like 10-year-old.
Yeah. Just want to thank Marvin and the guys.
Please come back together, guys.
Please. Well, guys, thank you for joining us.
Absolute pleasure.
It was really great to get to meet you guys.
Thank you so much.
And massive congratulations.
Thank you.
If you do want to get in touch with us on the podcast, you can always email us sidetracked@bbc.co.uk, or you can get us on WhatsApp 079 700 82 700. No Annie next week. Unbelievable.
Skiving,
unbelievable. But Near Archives will be here with me next week. But thank you guys, and massive congrats. Enjoy today.
Thank you.
And I guess, see you at the Mercury Prize.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
See you there.
Awesome. Can't wait, man.
Thank you guys. Nats, everybody. Come on.